What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about Luke Skywalker in the book of Boba Fett and talk about my biggest problems with him. Now, again, this is going to be controversial. I made a video on Cad Bane maybe yesterday, maybe the day before, and I teased this, and I talked about how, this may upset people. So I want to make it very clear kind of where I stand. I liked seeing Luke. I think the technology for Luke is, beyond our time. I actually can't even believe how good he looks. It's scary. It's actually kind of, off-putting maybe even in a way, but it's really incredible how good Luke Skywalker looks and that he really does look like what he would look like directly after, episode 6 with Mark Hamill not obviously looking like that anymore. So it's incredible what they've done, and I was all for Luke at the end of Mandalorian Season 2, all of that stuff. And I really have nothing against him training Grogu or, going down that arc or anything. I want to talk about a couple aspects with Luke that they showed specifically in the book of Boba Fett that I'm not a fan of at all. The first issue, kind of being more of a overarching issue, is the usage, the actual usage. So what I think was maybe the weirdest thing I've seen in TV in a long time, and something that was just very, again, maybe off-putting to me, was that they wrap up the arc of Grogu with Luke in a show that's not The Mandalorian. Okay, so to me, that just doesn't make any sense. I don't like that. I think that's horrible, planning and execution. I don't even know how it's worse. I don't know how you give Grogu to Luke at the end of Season 2. It's such this emotional, to me it was. Like, I bought it. Completely bought it, right? Pedro Pascal, takes off the mask, looks just downright sad, right? It was us saying goodbye to Grogu just as much as it was him. It was perfect. I don't even know if you could do it better if you tried, right? In my opinion. If you don't agree, that is totally fine. Because, again, I think it only got worse from there. So you do that, and then, you have, when you go into Mandalorian Season 3, you really could have just done those two Boba Fett episodes in that. There's no excuse why those episodes needed to be in the book of Boba Fett. They had nothing to do with Boba Fett for 95% of the time, and they were just setting up Mando's life post Grogu, which again was you make it such a big deal that he's giving Grogu away, and you're like, this is it. This is goodbye. I'm never going to see you again. That holds weight. To all of us. And then he knows exactly where they went. He can visit them at any time. Nobody's going to stop him. Ahsoka's going to give him some sort of riddle thing in his mind where it's like, well, do you really want to see him? And you could be doing this to him if you do that. And so, there can be a little bit of mental, temptation not to. But for the most part, what planet he's on. Where on the planet he's on. You can go visit him whenever you want. So that already kind of weakens the idea of letting him go. Then you have the idea of Luke and Grogu's arc. And he teach him one lesson? Now, again, I'm in a more joking mood. Okay, the last couple of days, I'm trying to poke it more, but do it not so seriously, more in a jokingly way. But what did he teach him? He didn't teach him actually anything. All he's doing is giving him his memories back. Grogu already knew how to jump. Luke was just making him remember how to jump. So, again, I think that actually really diminishes the value of Luke as a teacher. Now, maybe the goal is to show that Luke is not a very good teacher because of what happens in Episode 8. But then you're going more into the Luke that is either loved or absolutely hated in The Last Jedi. And I will let you make up your mind. I will say that I did not like him because I was not a fan of The Last Jedi. But you could be playing with that, and if that's the case, maybe that's fine. That's what they want to do, whatever. But I just don't think that helps him when you don't really teach Grogu anything. You also don't give him time to teach Grogu anything because you just don't give him anything. You know what I mean? So you have that, all right? Now, the next part of it is his teaching style. Now, again, maybe it's to show that he has no idea what he's doing. Maybe it's also, though, to show that Disney doesn't know what it's doing, because the first thing, which is a lesser deal, and I know people have picked on it, and I know people have also picked on the people that have picked on it, the idea of only a Sith deals an absolute. Now, you can look back to, even what's canon, and show counters to even that Obi-Wan quote, right? Where it's like, okay, there are many, many times where Jedis do that, or Jedis kind of break their own rules. But what I will say is this. The Jedi, as we know, were almost kind of set up to fail. They self-sabotaged themselves. They made these rules, they made these things you weren't allowed to do or were allowed to do, and they really destroyed themselves from the inside. That's really what we learned in this entire 45 years that Star Wars has been, like, that's truly it, okay? So we had Yoda give absolutes to Luke in episode 5. We had Obi-Wan give absolutes, right? Or Ben Kenobi, right? So we had these things happen. But the idea is that Luke learned from these things and actually kind of learned that, saying it without saying it, these things don't work. These are kind of broken principles that I'm going to kind of carve out my own path. And guess what? That own path actually is what allows us to win. So yes, the whole only a Sith deals an absolute, and then Luke literally makes Grogu choose an absolute decision that he can't go back on. Choose Mando or choose Yoda's lightsaber, right? A member berry. Which one will you do? That's, that's a horrible teaching lesson, all right? So that's just, I don't like that. I would have assumed that Luke would have learned from, again, though, I know a lot of Jedi have done that. They have done or dealt absolutes, and Obi-Wan said it, and obviously people make fun of it. But the idea is Luke is supposed to have learned from that stuff. And the final thing, which is an extension of that, and my biggest problem with Luke, and this is what I noticed immediately as it was happening, Luke's entire monologue to Grogu, okay, his whole, I don't know if it was his first lesson, but it was definitely the lesson they showed us, was basically let everything go, no physical attachments, all that's literally the code of the Jedi that we knew in the prequels that didn't work. Now, here's the thing. Technically, you could say Luke didn't learn from this until Yoda appeared to him in The Last Jedi when he was, burning the sacred text and all that stuff. But here's the thing. Again, I'm going to take the controversial opinion that Luke was awful in episode 8. It was horrible. It's not how I would have done the character. It's not how you had to do the character. And I don't think that was the right call. So while maybe canon-wise, it makes sense that Luke is still teaching backwards studies all the way up until the point of that scene at the end of The Last Jedi where he kind of learns, I don't buy that, though. I don't like thinking that because he should have learned it already because he lived it. He did have love. He loved his sister. He loved his friends. He loved his father, which allowed him to defeat the Emperor. It's why they won in the original Star Wars films, the first trilogy. So for him to go back on all of that and to teach broken ideas that he knows doesn't work, he went against them himself. He was told that was a bad move, but it actually ended up working out. Why is he teaching Grogu it? So again, you can say, well, maybe they're showing he's just a bad teacher. He's just not great. Well, I don't think that's necessary. Why can't Luke be a good teacher? Why? Can you give me a reason? Why? Why does Luke have to learn it in The Last Jedi? Well, yes, to make it canon, that's true. But can we be real? The sequel trilogy help or hurt Star Wars, okay? Was it a net positive or net negative? So I don't, again, buy that one either. I really just feel as a character in character development, he should have learned these things, and he shouldn't be teaching Grogu the exact opposite of what he himself did 10 years, however long this is after episode 6, 5 years, whatever it was. Why is he going back on it so soon when he knows that it's actually the right thing? So that's my issue. That's my biggest problem. The reasoning why could be a couple of different reasons, but to me, those things, none of that stuff made sense, and especially the whole idea of, letting things go. It's classic lines, and you could say, oh, he's almost repeating Yoda stuff, and obviously there was a lot of symbology, symbolism of him doing stuff with Grogu that Yoda did with him, but it's yeah, but that also wasn't the full picture, and that also Yoda actually wasn't all the way right in the original trilogy, you know what I mean? So, we know that. Luke knows that. There's no reason we have to pretend, and yet we're doing it anyway. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. Hit the bell icon so you guys know when all these videos go up. If you want to follow me anywhere else, all my social media is in the description below for you guys to check out if you want to. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you all on the next video.